Right, guys, today we're talking about a problem that looks like this, where you might see some sort of a triangle inside of a circle with some of it sticking out, right? And part of it's going to be a radius, okay? What this means, or the types of problems they're going to give you, has something to deal with this property. It says if AC, all right, that's our radius, is a radius, right? And AB is tangent to circle C, then these two things are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so this can be helpful in a lot of ways, but most of the time you're going to see problems like this use the Pythagorean theorem to help you out. And when you do this, you have to be very careful that you put your right angle up here on the curve of the circle. Okay, not down the center. I know sometimes the triangles looks as such as what should go there, but really it's always going to be your right angle. It's always going to be on the curve of the circle. Right? Let's try a few problems with that. All right, this first problem says AB is tangent to circle C. So whenever you see a word like is, use that fact to your advantage, okay? Since those are perpendicular, now this tangent and that's going to be a radius, we know from before that this is a right angle. And I can use the Pythagorean theorem to help me find x, which I'm looking for. Okay, so here you just have to remember what's your a squared, your b squared, your c squared, or your a, b, and c in your problem. And c, of course, is always across from your right angle. So the 13 in this case is going to be our c, which means I can say 5 squared, our a squared, plus our b squared, we don't know, I'm going to call it x squared, equals the c squared, which is 13 squared. 5 squared is 25, plus x squared, I still don't know, equals 13 squared is 169. Subtract 25 on both sides, and here we get x squared equals 144. To find x, when something's squared, you take the square root of it, and we get x equals, really it's plus or minus 12, but since x is an entire length here, or length or a distance can't be negative, we're just going to use the positive case. Positive 12. So x equals 12. Let's try another one. All right, the second problem, this is a really popular one where they leave out some missing information. Okay, here you can see we have a radius of 6, right? Our tangent, or what's supposed to be tangent, is going to be 8. And then this part over here, just from B to the circle, is going to be 4. Right, so we are missing from C to the edge of the circle right there. Now, the question is asking us, is this tangent? So we don't know that it is tangent anymore like the last one. This time it's asking, is it? So our answer is either going to be yes. Our answer is either going to be yes or no. And to figure it out, we actually have to put in this missing information. Now, since CA is a radius, anywhere from the center to the curve of the circle is also a radius. So because this is 6 and it's a radius, this is also a radius and it's also 6. All right? However, if I'm checking to see if this is, I'll put it in dotted lines, we're not quite sure yet. If I'm checking to see if that is a right angle, to see if it's perpendicular, I have to use the Pythagorean theorem here, I'm in trouble today, and go 6 squared plus 8 squared equals, gotta put those together, and be 10 squared, right? 6 plus 4, okay? So I worked out here for you, 6 squared plus 8 squared, 6 plus 4 is 10. Is that 10 squared? 36 plus 64 is in fact 100, right? So 100 equals 100. That is a true statement, so therefore, is it tangent to circle C? Yes. Let's try another one. All right, guys, last problem here. This is going to be a tough one. Sometimes they're going to give you multiple x's in the same problem, but the process is still the same, okay? What I mean by that is it still says that AB is tangent to circle C, okay? So I can put my right angle in right there. And then I just have to write out the Pythagorean theorem like I know how, but you got to be a little bit careful with these multiple x's. For example, here we have our A, B, and then across my right angle is going to be my C. So if I wanted to go A squared, that's x squared, plus b squared, 56 squared, and then my c is going to be x plus 32. So it's going to equal x plus 32. I have to square all of that, meaning I better put it in parentheses and then square it. Now, when you have something in parentheses, we should know how to do that. If, like I had x squared, this is x times x. So this whole thing in parentheses squared is just it, x plus 32 times itself. And then you'd have to FOIL that, okay? So let me bring this down, I'll FOIL it, and then I'll meet you on the next line of work. All right, so I FOILed it out. We have now x plus 32 times x plus 32. These middle ones we're able to simplify a little bit. So on that side of my equal sign, I have x squared plus 64x plus 1024, okay? On the other side, I also have an x squared. So I'm noticing right away that my x squareds will be able to cancel. If I add those over, or I guess, sorry, subtract those over, they would simplify, minus x squared on both sides. and cancel. Leave me with just one x over here on the right. So let me finish the problem out and let's see what x equals. All right, after moving some stuff around, solving for x, I think I get x equals 33. So if I put that back in my problem, let's see if it makes sense, right? This is 33, and this is 33. One way you always want to check with right triangles is your hypotenuse should be the longest. So here 32 plus 33 is 65. 65 is definitely going to be the longest of all three of the legs in that triangle. All right guys, hopefully this video on some circle properties with this tangent and radius helped you out. If you want to check out this video, there's going to be some more circle properties you might find interesting and helpful as you do your math homework fast and accurately. See you in the next one.